So for the past 4 years of winter retreat, I've been doing my best to do the practice of that particular retreat, but mostly I've been meditating on the Buddha Hall. So I thought, what better time to take a look at one aspect of the practice that I really love, and it's one of the preliminary prayers. It's the 7-limb prayer. And not because of my own wisdom or anything, it's because of what Venerable Children has said in the past. Venerable Kadro, His Holiness Lama Zopa Rinpoche. I really like to pause on the 4th line to rejoice in the virtue and good qualities of the holy beings and ordinary people. And so what's fresh in my mind right now is some ordinary people. Well, I don't know if they're ordinary actually. How would I know? I'm not a Buddha. They might not be. But it's 4 people that we know in the community quite well. And it's the people who are involved in building the contraption to lift the bell onto the bell stand. Now, you will get an idea of this story from the photos and some video clips, but you're not going to get the whole picture. And trust me, unless you are some kind of construction fanatic, or you're really into how do you move heavy things, or you used to bench press 400 pounds when you're in your early 20s, or whatever. When you come into the main hall, you are going to see this beautiful bell. You're going to walk right up to it. You'll be tempted to play it. And you're going to look at the inscriptions on the bell. And then when you hear the bell, your body is just going to be soaked with these vibrations. And your mind will actually stop this for a few seconds, maybe some minutes. But I can guarantee you, unless you're one of those people, you are not going to go in and say, how'd they get that bell in here? That 485-pound bell on a carpet. In Asia, they don't have carpet. It's too humid. So how do you get a stand that weighs 476 pounds over brand new carpet without ruining it? Because the abbess is going to be very upset about that. All of us will be very, very upset about that. But what about this 485-pound bell? So long before the bell and the stand got here, I was starting to talk about this challenge with Venerable Losong. And then before our dear friends, the Finnish carpenters, left the job site, I knew they would have an answer. I just thought, if anyone knows this, they will know. I will say that I did ask Venerable Damcho to write to our donors in Taiwan and the people who made the bell, ask them, how do we install the bell? How do we get it onto that stand without killing somebody? That was my biggest concern. I didn't want death. I didn't want any kind of injury or paralysis or a foot being sawed off by the bell landing on it, things like that, you know. Their answer was, ask your local people. So I continued to ask the local people. Venerable Losong and I eventually went to a rental place because Neil and Sean told us, oh, yes, what you need is something called a material lift. So because I think these people are just fantastic, and they did beautiful work in the Buddha Hall, I thought, yes, they know what we need, without actually them seeing the design of the bell stand. It's just something that can lift heavy things. That's exactly what we want. So we went to the place that rents things, that lifts things. And at first I just showed them the picture of the bell. So they had all kinds of suggestions for us. There's something that lifts engines that weigh way more than a bell. There's the material lift. There's this other thing that's called a stair climber, and it lifts heavy things. And then I showed him the design of the stand, and he got quiet. So I didn't intend to print this on yellow paper, but you know how things go when you live with other people. There's yellow paper in the printer. So I don't know if you can see this so well, but this is the bell stand, and there's this area down here, and this bar here. Actually, that's not the bell stand, it's the drum stand. I picked the wrong photo, but they're very similar. The main important thing here is the obstacle here. Now, all of these lifting things that would have done the job all have these long feet that go out in front. They wouldn't work with this. The design of the bell stand was blocking the feet. So we left the rental place. I felt somewhat dejected, but I thought, you can find everything on the internet. There is a machine out there that's going to lift that bell. And so I started looking, and so did Venerable Losang. And he kept talking, Venerable Losang kept going back to, I think we need to build something. And I said, I don't want us to build something. I don't want you to build it because it's going to really tax your body. And there's got to be something we can rent. So the final thing that was obvious is a forklift. However, most forklifts weigh about 9,000 pounds. Now, our structural engineer wasn't too happy about the bell stand and the drum stand going into the main hall. It's only 3 inches of concrete on a suspended floor. So had we gone ahead with my great idea of renting a 9,000 pound forklift, we would have gotten that contraption into the main hall, and whoever was driving the thing and maybe standing close by, including the bell stand and the bell, would have ended up downstairs in the library. That would be a true disaster and not even worth talking about. So there seemed to be no solutions except for the fact that it seemed to be coming back to the fact that we have to build something. So Venerable Losang again started doing some research, and I reached out to our friends, Neil and Sean, the Finnish carpenters, and they were all interested in helping. And then Venerable Losang had a conversation with another friend, Will, who actually built this teaching table right here, and with another friend, and he built the altar behind me and these 2 things on the side. So I thought, with 4 people like that, 4 builders, problem solvers, skilled in what they do, creative people, there's no obstacles. This is the dream team, and they all said yes. So Venerable Losang, in his conversation with Will, Will suggested something called a gantry. Who's heard of a gantry before you saw it? Not me. So this is more or less what a gantry looks like. And this is actually what Venerable Losang then designed, and with the help of our friends, they built. And this is the structure that was able to lift the bell. They attached something called a come-along here in the middle, and that's a ratchet with how do you describe that, Venerable Losang? It's a hand winch, thank you. And so they started building this on November 17th. Will got here a day early, and they built half of it in our cold, unheated, dimly lit barn. There's no fancy stuff in the barn going on. And so they got that done so that when the next day Neil and Sean showed up, they all knew what they were going to do. Now, what's really amazing to me is how this was built. And this you won't get from the pictures and the videos. And you won't get it from those 4, because all 4 of them are just too quiet and they're too humble, unless you ask them directly, and then you'll get a little bit. So you're going to get it from me. When I saw them in the barn, they were all doing stuff. There was no talking. And when there was talking, they were talking a language I do not know. I would have been hopeless as a gopher. Go get the What does it look like? But one of them would go next door and get the and come back. And there was just no conversation. There was no posturing by anyone. Any one of them could have said, I have a lot of experience with this tool. You should probably let me do it. Or, I don't think that's going to work. That looks really stupid. There was none of that going on, like I should be the one to do this. They were just all doing it because they knew what to do. So it took all morning in the cold, dimly lit barn with no heat to put the thing together. And then they had to take it apart because they had to haul it up in pieces up to the main hall. So then they had to carry it out of the truck in pieces, get it into the main hall, and then put it back together for this lift. And then it was time for lunch. So we had lunch, and then we came back and everyone gathered. It worked beautifully. I don't know if you can see this picture so well, but the gantry is much taller than the stand. And so this hand winch thing winched the bell up, got it onto the hook, and then there was this beautiful moment, I don't know if it's captured on video, but the bell, first of all, got onto the cable. And then it just sort of went, there was like this sigh, like, I'm here.
Yay!
And it was just amazing. So I'm rejoicing in these 4 who just, with their skill and their expertise and their calm nature. There was no one having a hissy fit like, is it gonna work? What if it doesn't work? That would be me. I just kept my mouth shut. It was hard to do. They were just calm and composed. It was a beautiful thing to watch. They all knew the language. And they're also cueing off a Venerable song, was clearly in charge. They were just watching and then following. So I think if I can do that with our teacher, watch and follow, there would be big changes. I'm trying. Anyway, the 7-limb prayer is a great prayer to do. Pause at the 4th line. There's so much to be anxious about in this world. If you just go to the front page of the news, forget it. You're not going to be reassured. But if you just look around at the people you live with, the people in your community, the people in your town, city, province, state, country, wherever, you're going to find a lot to rejoice in that will not be on the front page of the news. So let's do that. Let's rejoice in everyone around us.